Hey there guys, it's Jack Barnwell here. It is the middle of February. I'm up in northern Michigan checking in on an awesome, epic, incredible landscape that I designed. Twin Bay Landscaping, killer contractors are doing the whole installation. Some of the guys are here today. They've been working all winter, building stone staircases, building boulder walls. We're gonna check in on those guys, see what they've been up to recently, walk you through the whole landscape and the design and the concept, and show you what it's kind of all about in the beginning stages of building out a landscape here in northern Michigan, grinding it out through the winter so we can get this one done this spring. So this should be pretty fun to walk through this one with you guys. So let's dive in. All right, so like I said, we're in northern Michigan. We're actually in Leland, or just outside of Leland in northern Michigan, which is up in the Leelanau Peninsula. This particular property is right on the Leland River, between Lake Leelanau and Lake Michigan. Sleeping Bear Dunes National Park and National Lakeshore is right here behind us. It's a really, really unique nook and part of the world here. So cool building site, and quite an opportunity to landscape this one out. We're out here on M22, which is an iconic, beautiful, scenic drive. And off of M22, the driveway is gonna come in here. And right now, it's a construction site. So it's all wide open. There's a lot of, vehicles and trucks and dumpsters and all kinds of stuff in here. But the driveway, this is gonna be a full-on forest. We are planting well over 100 trees onto this property in this landscape, and it will be an unbelievably lush forest with big berms and things like that through here. The driveway that we're designing is going to do this really cool serpentine curve up through here to the house, and you won't see any of these neighboring properties or houses or anything because we're really going to screen all that off. And right now, as you can see, we designed in an ice rink. So it is really slippery through here, but I guess that's why all these contractors have four-wheel drive and have no problem getting in and out of here. But right now, it is an unbelievable ice rink. It's just solid ice. That's because we had a little warm up a couple days ago, and it rained, and then it got really cold. I mean, it's cold. It's like 20 degrees or something right now, cold. And it all froze. So this probably was a big puddle, and now it's ice. I can like moonwalk through here. But anyway, all of these trees that you do see along the property line here are just temporarily shouldered in there. Those were some evergreens and stuff like that that were brought in when the project was really first started, but all those are coming out and getting woven in and worked in to the landscape. Like I said, the company that I'm working with on this one is Twin Bay Landscaping. These guys are killer, great team. I'm excited to introduce you to some of them. They've been stocking the job up this winter and diving right in, which is really cool. Got a big old load of boulders dropped off here to be able to work with, and they have a lot more at their shop. Some really big, beautiful, mossy, crazy, craggy ones. Got some fill and some different soils and things like that. Lots and lots of stone. We had 2 semis full of flagstone and stone steps and stuff like that dropped off and delivered here. And these are the stone steps that we're using on this job, which is all limestone. Beautiful stuff out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And I really like this this particular quarry for stone steps especially. They're really hard, dense, consistent stone steps too. That's a nice 6-inch step there, real consistent with the snapping of these steps. So we're able to get really consistent thicknesses on our staircases and stuff like that. The whole driveway I'm walking on right now, it's going to be a big circle drive around this island planting here. There'll be a huge, big, beautiful elm tree in the middle, and all of this will be really planted out. I'm excited to show you guys through some of this stuff this spring, because it's going to dramatically change once we start softening this all up and planting this all out. But as we walk on, oh, I gotta be careful. As we walk on toward the back, this is gonna be a really beautiful little woodland pathway through here out toward the back of the property. And as I said, the house is right on the Leland River, so you can see the water right out back here. Boathouse with a really beautiful wooden boat in it right on the water, so they're able to, it's like a little mini boat garage. They're able to drop the boat down off of its little lift and go out, you know, boating for the day and put it back in its little garage. Such a cool property. But these guys, like I said, are working through the winter and the cold. We got the job stocked up with some boulders, putting in some of these initial stone staircases for this space down here they're working on now. It's a lower patio space that's right on the water. This is going to be kind of a lounging space for some Adirondack chairs and just kind of a nice little relaxing and conversing area. And they've built this structure to be able to work in there in the winter. And they're able to, you know, crank some heaters up, some propane heaters, and work in there. And underneath this plastic, they can get the temperatures to like 70, 80 degrees inside there and work completely comfortably and do all this stonework and stuff and do some really beautiful work and get a little further ahead, so that come spring, hopefully a lot of this hardscaping and shaping and stuff like that is done. So we're just that much further ahead, because with this one, we're really going to try and knock it out of the park, get this one done in the spring here, so that the house and the landscape and everything finishes out by early summer, which is a big push because it's a big project. But we'll head down here. Look at these guys working away. Looks good, guys.
Thank you.
So right now these guys are doing some chisel cutting, roughing up the edges of cuts that they've done with a stone saw and making a real natural look. Oh, and it looks like Zach just completely boofed that cut there. I like that actually, Zach. That's actually better like that. I think it's much better. Now, this is Zach, one of the owners of Twin Bay Landscaping, and Ethan, and these guys are out here in the cold, just grunting through it and doing this absolutely gorgeous work. Look at some of this wall work they're putting together. Really beautiful artistry and craftsmanship and fitting these boulders together, especially when you can't even move your fingers, and they're just busting out this gorgeous work. All right, so like I said, this is Zach. He's one of the owners of Twin Bay Landscaping here up the Leland Peninsula. They do work all around the Traverse City area, which is more or less where we're working right now. And but really tight work. I'm super impressed with these guys and the ability to do this kind of wall work with irregular boulders like this. These are all granite boulders, and it's really tough to have the patience to, you know, do that tight and that nice of wall work. This is a small little wall here, obviously, but you'll see just really tight, clean, solid work there done. And they're, you know, doing the right technique is to put some nice geo fabric behind the wall, backfill with some gravel that drains really well, so that any moisture that is migrating in behind the wall can drain right away and not build up and put any kind of
We've got some
pressure.
drainage at the base of the wall to alleviate any water that
Perfect.
gets behind it.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of drainage, underneath this flagstone work that we're standing on now, you can see this gigantic big chip stone and chip gravel. And the idea is to allow this to drain really well, because this is going to be a living joint in here. So the joints are a little bit bigger, but this is what we call a controlled joint. And so the joint is consistent even though it's irregular. Mm-hmm. This is a lot harder to do than it looks. You're not just throwing a piece down and hoping that it fits. So a lot of these joints do get cut with a saw, but then they are chiseled and roughed up and everything like that, so that they look
kind of rounding some of these up to soften it, and it just looks a little nicer with some plant material. Mm-hmm. And it's really just a puzzle, and you get to make the pieces.
Yeah. But there's an art to making sure that the size of the pieces are balanced, and you don't have a joint that is
you don't want a super long joint or anything that's going to really catch your eye. Mm-hmm. Even the kind of the shapes of them, you want to kind of control to make it look so you're not having a bunch of harsh angles and things of that nature. There's all these little tricks of the trade that you have to use so that you don't have a real, like this long edge right here is great. This is a nice big piece, but you definitely have to kink it and then tee off so that joint is broken up, you know? Yeah, which is, it's a lot harder than it looks, and these guys make it look easy. So this piece that Zach was working on just a minute ago here is fitting into here, and as you can see where the joint gets a little bit tight right here and widens out here, they'll be able to, you know, do something potentially like that, shift that up there. Yep.
And
then
you know,
we would
make
take some of that off.
Or yeah, you could probably do that, I guess, and shift that a little further, because then you can come off of here. But it's always a game of making some adjustments like that, fine tuning and getting the right piece in there. And then all these edges and all these little pieces and parts and gaps will get planted up and softened right in a little later this spring. And right here, you guys just put in a bunch of drainage as well,
there's some
right?
drain tile running out, and that'll catch anything coming off of the overhang on the other side as well.
But it's also gonna catch the water from a shower. There's gonna be an outdoor shower put in here and integrated into this space, which is gonna be pretty nice. So if you're out swimming or out on the boat or something and need to clean up or whatever, you can do that before
sand off your toes.
Yeah, head into the house. So it's really cool that you guys are getting, you know, making this much progress on it at this you know, time of the year, so that come spring we're just that much further along.
Then the plants.
And then planting. We got a lot of plants going in on this job. Unbelievable. It's going to be like an instant forest meadow space. It's going to be really pretty. But the next kind of area to tackle here is going to be right out here. And so what's this whole unit here, Zach?
So we've been, a while ago, before we had a ton of frost in the ground, we put these frost blankets over, and they're basically just to alleviate, so we're not getting 18 inches of frost, we're getting 3 inches, and doesn't totally prevent it, but definitely helps us to be able to work this area.
So there's no heat.
No, there's no heat. We do have some heat cable that we can run, but these themselves just allow us to actually work the ground if we need to. And we'll most likely tent this whole area off as well, and once we have heat to it for a couple days, it'll thaw the rest of it out to where we can do the rest of this flat work.
So this area here, this whole space where we're standing, is going to be flagstone like that, but with a little tighter joint and a little bit harder, flatter surface and everything, so that furniture can be moved around and stuff like that. So we tighten everything up a little bit. Where out there, that's just an access to get over toward the river and launch kayaks and paddle boards and stuff, so we can loosen up and soften that up with plantings and everything like that, because there is a lot of hardscaping on this job. A lot.
Yeah, but it's also
a lot of flagstone. But if we can soften it like crazy with tons of living joints and plantings and stuff everywhere, then it doesn't seem as
It's also
hard.
a large job, so it kind of spreads everything.
Right, you do.
Out,
you need that. We need a lot of stone, but it seems like so much right now. It's like so much stone. I walked up to that pile, I'm like, wow, we have a lot of stone on this job, man. A lot of stone. But so transitioning out of that little space by the boathouse and everything on the water here, we have the first stone staircase. This is gonna have another lift of stairs a little further up toward the house. But you can see, like I was talking about those stone steps earlier, really nice, consistent thickness on these steps. So they make nice little stone staircases, really nice and level tops, and just a beautiful product to work with. So we'll be working some boulders into this bank here and leaving some of these nice pockets open for plantings, which is really fun. I like to plant right on these edges, and all these little cracks and gaps and stuff I like to plant out. So this will all be softened right up like crazy. This will transition out into a little flagstone walkway over here, and then right about here we'll have probably 2 to 3 more steps up and into this area here. This area and space here will be a big flagstone apron going into the main door here out into the water side of the house. I love this gigantic big glass room looking out at the water. And this element down in here is probably my favorite, part of the design. This is gonna be 4 steps down into a sunken patio fire pit area. We've got gas run out here to this space for like a hidden gas starter. So you can throw all your logs on there, but kind of cheat and hit the switch and start it with gas, but it'll be a big natural wood fire, really sweet. And be sitting right down, there'll be like a negative edge right out onto the water here. It's really, really, really pretty. It's cold as heck out here right now, but it's super pretty. See all these ducks cruising up and down the river. I don't know how they can bear it out there. Anyway, so it's hard to see all this, I know right now, but I thought I'd paint the picture a little bit for you guys, show you through this project at this very, very early stage, and just kind of wet the whistle or whet the appetite or whatever the phrase is to get you guys excited, because stay tuned, come back soon. We'll do another video this spring when we really dive into this one and finish shaping it all out and plant it all up. It's gonna be totally magical. Probably the most exciting project I've ever been on, and I can't wait to finish this one out. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, click that bell and everything so you get an email notification when we do post new videos, because you're really gonna wanna see this one and many more that we have coming soon. See you guys all again soon. Cheers.